In a peaceful village, nestled between lush green fields and majestic mountains, there was a blacksmith named Steve. He was renowned for his exceptional craftsmanship, creating sturdy and intricate ironworks. However, Steve had one bad habit: he never woke up early. Every morning, his alarm clock rang loudly, but he always hit the snooze button multiple times, enjoying the warmth of his bed. This habit caused him to waste valuable working hours, miss important village meetings, and fall behind on completing orders. His father and the village elders had advised him many times, but he didn't take it seriously. "What's the big deal about waking up late? I can work at night," he argued. However, Steve didn't realize that life had its own rhythm, and failing to adapt meant losing valuable opportunities. Until one day, he had to face the consequences of his habit. One day, the village chief organized an important meeting to prepare for the biggest festival of the year. Every villager was assigned a task, and Steve was given the most prestigious responsibility: forging a magnificent iron gate for the temple, a symbol of strength and unity in the village. The next morning, the village chief and his assistants arrived at Steve's forge to discuss the design. But when they got there, they found the workshop doors still tightly shut. Steve was still fast asleep. After knocking multiple times with no response, the village chief, disappointed, assigned the task to another blacksmith, Mohan. Mohan wasn't as skilled as Steve, but he was always punctual and reliable. When Steve finally woke up and realized he had lost such a valuable opportunity, he was filled with deep regret. The festival was the most important event in the village, and he had missed his chance to showcase his talent. This failure made Steve understand that waking up late not only affected his work but also cost him the trust of the people around him. He began to seriously reflect on his habit. Feeling remorseful and confused, Steve went to his grandfather for advice. Sitting on the front steps of the house, he sighed. "Grandpa, I really don't understand why I struggle so much with waking up early. I always set an alarm and tell myself I'll get up right away. But when it rings, I can't resist the warmth of my bed. I keep delaying, and then I miss out on valuable opportunities. I don't know how to change." His grandfather looked at Steve, smiled kindly, and said, "Waking up early is not just a habit, but an important choice that determines a person's success. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, in a distant village, there were two farmers named Vikram and Sohan. They had the same amount of land, the same tools, and faced the same weather conditions. But there was one big difference. Vikram always woke up early. While Sohan slept in, Vikram started his work at sunrise, finishing most of his tasks before the sun became too hot. Because of this, he had time to rest, read books, and spend time with his family. His harvests were always plentiful because he took care of his crops at the right time. On the other hand, Sohan always woke up late, rushed through his work under the scorching sun, made many mistakes, and was always exhausted. One year, a big storm hit. Vikram had already harvested his crops and suffered little loss. But Sohan, who had delayed his work, lost nearly his entire harvest. His grandfather looked at Steve and gently said, "Life always moves forward. If you don't wake up in time, you'll always be chasing it but never catching up. Successful people never let opportunities slip away just because they want to sleep a little longer." His grandfather's story made Steve reflect. He realized that he had missed too many opportunities simply because of his habit of sleeping late. If he didn't change, he would continue losing precious things in life. That night, Steve made an important decision. He would train himself to wake up early. He set his alarm for 5 a.m. and promised himself he wouldn't hit the snooze button again. The next morning, his alarm rang loudly. As usual, he felt tempted to sleep a little more. But this time, he remembered his grandfather's story. He forced himself out of bed, washed his face with cold water, stretched, and stepped outside. The fresh morning air made him feel more awake. In the following days, Steve maintained a strict schedule, going to bed early, avoiding distractions at night, and keeping a journal to track his progress. At first, waking up early was very difficult, but he was determined not to give up. After some time, his body gradually adjusted. Waking up early became easier, and he found himself working more efficiently, having more time to complete orders, and enjoying life more. After weeks of persistence in training his early rising habit, Steve's life changed completely. He became more disciplined, worked more effectively, and had more time to complete his tasks. Because of this, his blacksmithing business thrived, and he gradually regained the trust of the villagers. As the village's annual festival approached, the village chief once again came to Steve. This time, he entrusted him with an even more important task: forging a grand iron gate, not only strong but also beautifully crafted, to be a source of pride for the entire village. Steve confidently accepted the task. Thanks to his new work schedule, he managed his time well, ensuring that every detail of the gate was crafted perfectly. Before the festival, the iron gate was completed with stunning craftsmanship, stronger and more intricate than any of his previous works. When it was unveiled, the villagers marveled in admiration, and Steve's reputation spread to neighboring regions. From that day on, Steve's blacksmith workshop flourished. He not only became the best blacksmith in the village but also a role model for young people on the importance of discipline. And most importantly, he had learned that waking up early not only gave him more time but also opened the doors to success.